Kulira ebya environment mu Queen Elizabeth Conservation Area. Why I am here ne kubagamba ekizibu kyetulina mu conservation eno. Eno conservation rundi park eno yali originally yali open savanna, but because of the invasives nechuka, we got a very big challenge of invasive species ekibayita kalimanjojo, in English called the Dichorostachys cinerea. Yaja ne covering the whole part, and the challenge with it bwetuka mwanya egukavaringa gona ebisoro tebefuna chawakurya tebifuna wakuhita. What happens, they go out and they cause human wildlife conflict. So Gwaja in 2014 we didn't know that it would be a big problem, and later netutandika kukolako research netulaba how we can manage it, but we later found out that the intervention they were using by then would use bulldozers to grade the area. We realized that one was not going to work because it would be like seeding it and also changing the soil structure. So we did manual removal, cutting and removing and uprooting, then burning. Ekyo kyatukolera. So later we wrote proposals netuwandika omu bitongole World Bank netuwa sente netuja mu hectares zenkana 761 zetukozeko. Now when we used the graders twakola omwanya munene. We worked about 4,000 hectares. Netulaba at start it was looking nice, but when it started sprouting twalaba twayonona, because as we were moving around the craters we were seeing how we disturbed the area. So netujamu netukozesa engalo. That's where we were able to get some funds from World Bank, and netukola ko 243 or nayo network as annual operations fund netukozesa netukola ko 146. Then we also wrote a proposal to worldwide fund yebaita WWF wetugenda kati kubalaga netukola ko 350 hectares. And when we used that manual, it worked because ekyo kigendera ddala ku muti. So yagala kugendera ku that invasive. That's what we target. We don't disturb the environment around it. Tujamu netujayo roots. After removing roots, we burn. After burning, we come back after 6 months netujamu regrosses kubera tochija tokora remove neguwamu. So we came and removed the regrosses. After 6 months, you come and remove regross. Then after more 6 months, you also come and remove regross. Kisera nyo, because it is manual, naye kiri effective because kyabyo butonde. It does not disturb the environment so much. So it is like the area is the entire area of the park is 1,978 square kilometers, but from the mapping we have done, we realized that 40% of the area is covered, which is about 7,961 hectares are covered with this invasive. And the challenge is riri mu mwanya gw'ebyobulambuzi. And when the visitors come, chebagala kulaba ensolo kusanyuka. Now when they come and they don't see these animals, they are disappointed. They put management on pressure that we have not done our part, and that's why we are making all efforts to make sure that tuguzemu ekirara. If it is not removed, gubera mwanya gw'ebisoro where animals graze from, and now animals zisenguka or they move to other areas where they reach and cause echebaita okurwanagana n'aba communities, human wildlife conflict. They They disturb or destroy their crops, add domestic animals, and sometimes they also kill human beings. So it is a costly thing, and it has also again costed us to make sure that we put electric fence where we went yesterday. You saw that intervention, and as we are coming out toward that area, you would see the park is opening. So that's where animals keep going, and when they don't find the fence, they go outside and they cause human-wildlife conflict. Here, because there's communities zituriranye, those that neighbor us, they form community-based organization, and they come and we give them tenders to remove. Now that this is a very expensive and labor-intensive, though effective, each hectare, which is 100 by 100 meters, bagikolera 4 million, including withholding tax. And to do 1 hectare, you require 25 people who will do it in 10 days. So when you calculate food, accommodation, and what in a day, you find a community person is working for 16,000. But then when we are coming to do the regrowth now, because it is not hard, the cost reduces to 2 million. And that's how we have been managing. But so far the area we are going to see the sample we have done using WWF fund, and the area to work on is still huge, and the challenge is still big. So we hope we shall continue writing proposals, we shall continue talking to partners, to government, to make sure that we are supported, and this area is restored its original place. Thank you very much.
Yes.
We need about 3 trillion if we are to do it. 3 trillion to remove the entire invaded area. Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Firmon Tumwebaze, an ecological monitoring and research officer for Queen Elizabeth Conservation Area.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. This conservation challenge that we are facing of invasive species has really affected the park. About 40% of the park has been invaded, and it is a costly thing because removing it from the park is expensive in a way that it is labor intensive, and removing each hectare costs us 4 million shillings. Then the entire area, we might need close to 3 or 4 trillion to remove it. Is that what you wanted?
When did you establish?
We did research on how best we can remove it. Then we ended up zeroing to manual, because we used the mechanical, which didn't work. We used the biological, which didn't work. But when we went to manual, we see that if you consistently do it, we can achieve 80 to 85% effectiveness.
So in terms of biological, what were you doing?
We're using insects to feed on them, but it didn't work. There were also a vein that we would plant around to climb and strangle, but it was also not effective, because they would die at the same time they regenerate.
Then how is this
affecting the park in that it establishes in an area that used to be an open savanna system, the area that used to have wildlife, wild animals, and once it establishes itself in the area, the native grass is suppressed, and it also forms a very thick thicket where animals cannot cross. And when animals cannot cross, they move away. They cannot cross through, they cannot also get food, and they move.
Okay.
So, and it's who come for animal viewing.
I beg your pardon? It disappoints?
No, it disappoints tourists, especially it establishes itself in a tourism zone especially, and animals are dispersed and they move out of the park.
Okay.
Yes.
So does it affect the multiplication of?
If animals don't have food, they cannot produce.
Okay.
Yeah, they produce once they feed, once they are healthy, and once they don't have food, at times you will find out that the animal numbers will reduce, especially the grazers, the Uganda cobs, the waterbacks, they will reduce, and it will again affect the predators that feed on these animals, because the number of prey you have, the number of predators, lions and leopards, because they move together, they check each other's population. Okay. Yes.
Then you said you've written a number of organizations.
Yes, we wrote to World Bank that supported us to remove 200 243 hectares. We have written to WWF that has supported us to remove 350 hectares. We are still writing proposals up to date. We are engaging government to show that this is a problem. If we still need to benefit from it as government, we need to make sure that we remove it.
So since 2014, have a trajectory in terms of budget?
Yeah, when we, those were the trials, when we started with doing the trials, we sought at a certain point, government gave us funds when we saw that we can manage it mechanically. That's when I was telling you that we did over 3,000 hectares in around Kabator Gate, but it didn't work. So when we went into manual, we also, it was effective, though delaying, and it has been giving us some money annually, but it is also not enough given the magnitude of the problem. Every year we have a budget on investments in our annual operations plan, but that money, given the areas we have to do and given other priorities, because we don't only have invasive as a challenge, we also have other things. We need to maintain these roads, we need to maintain the fleet, we need to have uniform, we need salaries. So we find we are torn apart. So that's why we need to appeal and write a proposal or a project dedicated for invasives. Okay. Yes.